Hello everyone, this is Barb with Lost in Floss. It's video 100, woo! Never thought I would make it that far, but somehow it happens, right? Well, you can see this way, that way. Well, you can't see, I have another tree right here. But welcome to my winter wonderland, and my channel is primarily about cross stitch, but I have done a little wool applique and a little quilting as well. Just very smidgen. I've been busy getting ready for Christmas, so it seems like I thought I'd get this video out shortly after my last one, which was end of November, and that just didn't happen. Life kind of got in the way, but that's okay, because that's what it should be, right? So I'd like to welcome back anyone who's spent time with me before, and welcome. I got a ton of new subscribers all of a sudden, so welcome to you, and I hope you sit back, relax, are inspired, and enjoy what you see. So I'm going to save chit chat for the end, per my style, and also I think I'm going to do like a not a full-fledged home tour, but I'll show you some little vignettes of the things that I've stitched and how I use them in my decorating. So mostly have been doing a lot of Christmas stitching and enough Christmas finishing, but I've got 3 epic things, I think they're epic, that I want to show you today. And so I hope you enjoy seeing them. They're a long time coming. But in the meantime, I have a few whips that I'm going to show you that I've been working on. First off is Plum Street Samplers, this Happy Morning. I really thought I'd get farther on this year, but I've got some other projects that have been speaking to me. So this is the house that was renovated from a barn. That's how I like to refer to it. And, you know, that really is the worst part of the chart as far as I'm concerned. Because, like, the grass will take a while too. But I should just get this out and get working on it again. Somehow, I keep thinking I should be more structured. And maybe I'd get more of the things finished that I'd like to get finished. But I really, I don't know. I do a fair amount of stitching, and I usually don't really like to have rules about it, but who knows? Maybe I'll start, like some people are going to do 24 new starts in 24. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Not all at once. I don't know. I gotta think about it. I still have how many days? 11 days left in the year before I really commit to anything. Next, I've been working on Cranberry Christmas by Artful Offerings. And this one is not going well, so I kind of have been avoiding it. I have my nice little floss book from Suzette. Thank you again, Suzette. It was so sweet. She gifted it to me while we were sitting next to each other at the Midwest Cross Stitch, or Farm Girl Cross Stitch Retreat. And this one, I had a nice little start, but it's been nothing but trouble. So I'm not sure if I have the wrong red. It's like a striped red, because I had to change out my roof. So I need to, I have to be in the mood to look at this and just let it go if I'm not in the mood. Margot from our stitch group gifted me this whip that she had started from Teresa Kogut, Green Coat Santa. And at first I thought, oh, I have too many whips of my own. But I'm so glad I grabbed him because Margot had done all the black around the edges and a little, I think maybe the Santa hat. But look how cute he is once you get that face in. So I showed him to her at our stitch group. And I'm like, well, if you really want him back, you can have him back. But she said no. So I was kind of glad because I really do want to finish him. And then, well, I started, let's see. Oh, no. I started a new Prairie Schooler Santa because we went to North Carolina to visit the Biltmore, all decorated for Christmas. So while in Asheville, I started the 2008 Santa. Let me see which one he is. So my rule is when I go out of state, I start a new Santa. So currently, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I don't travel all the time, but lately I've had a few places that I've gone. So let's see, which one? 2008. Oh, it's this cute guy with the sled. And so I have just a tiny little start on him. If I can find out which one he is. This, no. This one. Oh, I've learned to put the faces on first with these. And so I do have a face for him. But this was driving some other people in my stitch group nuts because I have 4 of them going. So I have one here, one there, and then one down there. So I probably will work, well, I will work on these throughout the year, but I might work on them a little bit more during like kind of the quiet time between Christmas and New Year's. So I have, these are the 4, 2011 Santa, 2002 Santa, 2008 Santa, and 1998 Santa. Boy, that sounds like a long time ago. Probably because it was. I mean, 25 years? Holy moly. I mean, I didn't work on it that long, but that's when the chart came out. And I really have been enjoying working on this one. Christmas in My Heart, 1843 by Samplers Not Forgotten. And I couldn't put this down for a while. And then I started something else, which I will show you next. So I've got a nice start on the house. I'm one of those people who get the house done first. I know there's a lot of people that like to do everything else, the borders or whatever first, but not me. So this will be an ongoing one. Last year after Christmas, I did what I called the 12 starts of Christmas, and I think I maybe got half of them done, you know, and some were little, but maybe half. I'll have to go back and look for sure and give the details on that one. But this is one that I just had to start this year. I bought the chart and floss at Country Sampler when I was there, and I had avoided it until Did I get it when I went back the second time? I think so. So it's Dasher and Dancer, Hobby House Press. And they converted it to a green floss that I love. And I have a piece of 40 count ironstone from Farm Girl that I started it on. And I love stitching on this. It's very, this part's been very easy. So I don't know how far I'll get. I'll probably put it away because I have some other everyday things that I should be working on instead. But I cannot wait to get this one done. And, I feel like the tree's going to be pretty easy. It's repetition. The alphabet's going pretty fast. The band over the alphabet. At first, it seemed like really a lot of counting. But now that I've kind of got my rhythm of, I'll go up 5 stitches, come back down, do 3, go up 1, come back, 1, 3, down. It goes pretty fast. So I'm excited to be working on this. And I've been watching a lot of old classic Christmas movies. And so it's just, I probably watched some of them numerous times before in my life. And so I feel like I kind of just, am stitching, not really paying that much attention to the movie. And it's great because then you just don't, you can concentrate more on your stitching, and yet you're still partaking in the holiday joy. So, all right, now we're going to go on. No FOs. I did a bunch of finishing for my friend and did some finishing of my own. So I'll show you the things that I did. I had finished this a long time ago, but I finally fully finished March, Prairie Schooler. And so I think I have 6 of the months done. And I have 2 going right now. So that's something that in January, I want to concentrate a little bit more on those to get them done. And then, let's see, I got one of the mittens done for Blackberry Lane Designs Gingerbread mittens. And I'm stitching these on the bright red. So there was a lot of stitching for this, but I decided to do the back, and I'm glad I did. Although I keep thinking, do I really need to stitch? I just put this little cord around the top. Do I really need to stitch the partner one to this? I don't know. I probably will, because that's how I roll. But look at the back on that. I'm glad now that I did it. I mean, it took some time, but she's a cutie. And I don't think I'm giving it to her yet, but I always give my granddaughter a gingerbread house or gingerbread ornament every year. And so someday this will be hers. Okay, then I fully finished 3 of the Prairie Schooler Santas. So last year I added 4 to the tree, and this year I'll add 3 more. So I'm up to 7 with 4 in the works. So at some point I'll be at 11, and I think there's 39 if I calculate it correctly. But I love this. I love this finish. It's so simple. And they look great on the tree. they're just kind of, you know, it's not like a big blob that's jumping out at you. You know, I have a little extra glue on the back, but I'll take a washcloth and get that off before I hang it back up on the tree. And here's this one. So, my goal is to always do the current year plus, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 others. So if I live long enough, I might get them all done. I don't know. They're not like a crazy priority, but I've showed these before, but I did a little extra stitching on this one, and now I'm really glad because I think it brings out the houses a little bit more. I changed, the top was supposed to have all of the green color for the moon and whatever, and I wasn't sure I'd like that. Plus I wanted to bring a little bit more white in up there. And then I also added the white windows and the red doors to the houses. You're just supposed to leave them blank, and I don't know, they kind of looked unfinished to me. So I decided to take that approach, and I really like them. And I have 2 others that I'm going to do. I have a spot on the wall over the breakfast bar in our kitchen that has, right now it has 4 matching size, you know, pictures, and I really can envision seeing these 4 pieces. I have 2 more that I'm going to be starting up on the wall, and I'm hoping to have my husband and help me make some frames for these, because I got a quote for just a simple black frame, and each one were going to be like $42, and I'm like, oh, that's, I mean, and that would have been having them pin them and whatever, but even still, that cost is not, I mean, it's not that. If I do it myself and just get the frame is the biggest part of the cost. So I decided that I would just kind of wait and figure it out. I mean, my first one I finished in 2019, my second in 2023. So we're already going on 4 years for this project. So it's not like it's going to happen anytime soon. Well, I am proud to say that I finished Wonderful Life by Stacy Nash. And here is my drum. I used this check. This was what they were sending out at Country Sampler. And I love everything about this. It is a wonderful life. I need to tweak the bottom a little bit. Like the top is nice and hard. The sides are pretty hard. It's a little bit cellulite-y. Can we use that for a pillow? But I think I overstuffed my bottom because it's like kind of bulging a little bit, and it feels like my edge is just a little bit, like the circle might have just been a little bit too wide. And I followed Vanna's tutorial for this, and I love it, except that that's going to bother me on the front. And so I think after Christmas, I'll wait and take that off. All right, so this is it. Okay, wait, forget this. So I retract that. What transition can I use? Moving on to Stop the Floss. I'm doing something different. I got my little Celeste Creates quilt done. And this is by no means anything that I don't know. it's fine. I know I've mitered corners before, but I don't know. I didn't do it right. I can tell I didn't do it right. So next time, I think what I've decided I'm going to do is I have a bunch of scraps of batting, and I'm going to just start making little things and like little mats or mug rugs or that sort of thing. And I'm going to rather practice on that size. I mean, this isn't ginormous, but I've repeated, I didn't do the free motion quilting. I just stitched straight lines, and but it's done. And I put the Afghan that we used to have in this room in the donated box. So I'm like, I committed to getting rid of that. So I have this one done, and it's a nice size. Like if it's chilly, you can throw it over your lap or whatever. I am so thrilled to have this piece done. Christmas Garden by Blackbird Design. Leanne started this and basically did a lot of the lower half as well as the vine, not the berries. And then I did the top part and then added some personalization to it. She used a different red. I've mentioned before what it is. I can't remember right now. I think this was it 28 count ivory? So that was interesting because I hadn't stitched like 2 threads for quite a while. But I am thrilled with how it turned out. I'd really been hoping that it would fit in an antique frame that I had that was kind of, well, it is. It's gold and ornate and maybe about that thick. So then when I went in to find a frame, nothing was really speaking to me. And like I had this frame out, but I wasn't sure it's, like it's like the pseudo leather where they have the lines going across where it's pieced, and I wasn't sure I'd like that. But, and I love this frame, but I knew that probably wouldn't be big enough to set it off because it's a fairly large piece. And then the woman that I was working with, I won't call her a girl, but basically young, and she was so nice. She's like, what about doubling up the frame and using this more, to frame it out and then putting that one on the outside? And both of us were like, yeah, that's what you need to do. So, and I like, you find a frame you like, and then sometimes like this color is coppery or silvery, or, it's not, I knew I wanted the gold because of the gold in the piece. So that was a challenge too, but I think I couldn't be happier with it. So it's kind of like a Merry Christmas to me piece. And I'm so thrilled to have it up on my wall this year. And I know somewhere Leanne is smiling down on me, knowing that I finished it. I put the year she started, 2019, the year I finished. I was going to put the year we met, but then I screwed it up, and instead I forgot and put our graduation year. And what else? Oh, her initials are here. Mine are somewhere here. Where are they? Oh, up here in green. So I was working on personalizing this at when we were staying at country sampler, and I must have stitched these numbers like 6 times. Instead of just taking my time counting the spacing and figuring it out ahead of time, I was just trying to do it. And so then finally, and then I had like the 2023 first, and that looked stupid. So then I decided I'd put it equal distance on either side of that, and then I just like added some motifs in there just to fill in the space a little bit. But do you like it? I love it. I couldn't be more happy with it. And had my high school friends over for brunch on Monday, and you know, the group that Leanne was a part of, and they just, you know, found it so meaningful that it just is something that will forever speak of friendship and shared friendship. You know, the fact we each did half. I love that. Okay, so I can't not say so. I get stumped by, oh, the mailman's here. Hey, poor guy. We like start our mail and stop our mail, and now he's kind of getting used to us, but you know, like sometimes we would not have our mail, and then they send it to one post office because we're in a really small community, and then they hold it there, and then like the day before you say you want your delivery to resume, they're started up again, and sometimes we get it, sometimes we don't, but numerous times a couple times he's like come to our door to apologize, like if he sees our car in the driveway and knows that we're back home. So it's kind of funny, but just a, you know, a nice guy. You see him around, he's got a, well, I won't even get into that. I mean, who cares about the mailman, right? I've just had, I'm going to sit back if that's okay while we chat. I've had a lot of things going on. So this is the second year my husband and I have decided to do this. But so I have like this bucket list of places that I want to go. And last year we went to Nashville. We had never been there. And it was on my dream list to see the Biltmore decorated for Christmas. We had never seen it even every day. And I can see the advantage of going in summer when you get to see the gardens, but oh my, like the Biltmore, the nighttime tour with the lights, it was beyond anything I could have imagined. And it was funny because we ended up going with our friends from Florida. It was kind of almost equidistant for us both to like drive there. They had a little bit shorter a trip, but then later on, people who knew, like all the couples said to us, like, who enjoyed it the most? And well, that was a no-brainer. They all knew it was going to be me, but they were like, okay, who is second? So we had to stop and think about it, but everybody, you know, enjoyed seeing it, and it really is spectacular. So I'm going to put pictures of that at the end, and, you know, if you want to look through them, by all means. At first I was thinking about, because I took so many, of maybe like doing a 100A video of just those pictures. I don't know. I still might do that and just put a sprinkling in at the end of this one. But just unbelievable. So I'm trying to think. I can't remember if I if we did our baking day, did I talk about that last time? Well, my sister-in-law is involved with an organization that gets people to bake homemade cookies for the troops. And so last year she was talking about how crazy she was having to, because you have to package them a certain way and drop them off on a certain day and blah, blah, blah. And we were at my daughter's house and I'm like, well, what about next year if we all get together and have like a baking day to do that? And then you won't be so stressed and, you know, we'd be happy to help. So it turned out it was my daughter, my sister-in-law, and my sister and I. And 3 of us made double batches of 2 different kinds of cookies at home and brought the dough. And then it was great. It was just like we took turns, like making a kind of cookie. And then, you know, one person would be doing this step and one person would be doing the next step. So it's kind of like our own little cookie factory. But we ended up making 54 dozen, which I thought was awesome. I mean, it was a lot of cookies. But doing it the way we did, it was easier to make the dough at home, I think. And because, I don't know, like the one time I baked in quantity with my sister, this sounds kind of weird, but my mom was a caterer and loved to cook, loved to have people over and feed people, you know, all her life. And so at her funeral, we decided to make little breads, like carrot and banana and, you know, different types to give out at the end of church as people left. I mean, we were doing a lunch, but you know how that is. A lot of people don't come to the luncheon or whatever. And so my sister came over to help me bake them. And I don't know, we decided we needed to do 3 different flavors. And I don't know, we were going to have a couple hundred breads. But then, like, you know, we'd be talking because I hadn't seen her in a while. And then it's like, oh my gosh, did I put in the baking soda? Did I put in this? Did I put in that? So actually making the dough by yourself at home probably was good from that standpoint, that we knew that it would probably be easier to, you know, than dragging mixers or whatever. And my daughter has like double oven, so that was awesome. We didn't even need to use the stove in the basement. So my sister-in-law was the oven person, and it was a fun day. So I would definitely do it again. And then I ended up baking cookies again, like at home, just myself. And I'm like, well, I can't have cookies in the house because I get into trouble with them. So I have a recipe I use for cutout cookies that if I decorate them with like meringue, royal icing. And so I accidentally made a friend of mine's recipe instead of my recipe. So then I'm like, oh, I don't want to spend all the time like icing them, and I'm just gonna like powder sugar frost them. And then in the meantime, my daughter is involved with this like service group that includes the family. So the kids are also doing service projects, and she needed a bunch of cutout cookies, as well as I think they were donating cookies to like shelters, or I don't really know the specifics. So I did drop off the rest of the cookies because I'm like, I gotta get these out of the house. They just called to me. It's dangerous. So the cookies left. I just saved enough because we were entertaining a couple times. And so I saved enough to, you know, put them on a tray and have them as the dessert. So that was good. got them out of the house. They just called me. I don't know. Does anybody else have that problem? Yeah. I mean, I like salty stuff too. I like basically anything but coconut and liver, especially not together. Well, anyways, what else was going on? Oh, we had Stitch group and I Zoomed with some friends. Then we had 2 rounds of company. The friends that I walk with, we've been like such great friends for years and years, but like we always did a lot of stuff, just the women, like not the husbands. And then, then like everyone's kids were getting married, so then there was some couple interaction. And I just said, I think, well, my husband, I think, is the one who actually said it. He's like, it'd be nice, like, to get together, the men to get together too. And he just suggested we go out somewhere. And then last year, my friend said she'd have it at her house. So then we had a summer get together that we were supposed to go out on our friend's boat. And it was just this cold, rainy, icky day. So the boat trip never happened, but I said I would do the Christmas get together. And then we have neighbors that we've been friends with for, I don't know, 30 some years. And so they were coming over the next night. So my way of entertaining, which I think works really well, is to do like 2 nights in a row, because like the first night was a little rough, but it was, all close friends. They've seen my house worse. But I like made recipes of stuff and then I split it into half and I just, baked one set of hors d'oeuvres the first night and then the second night baked the other half. So I had enough variety, but your house is all cleaned up. Your serving pieces are out. I just think it works really well. So keep that in mind. I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people think it's too much work to have people over to your house, but I don't know. I grew up in a family where the door was always open. And I think, like, people really appreciate being invited over to someone's house. It is a lot of work, and some people just don't care to do it. It's, neither here nor there, but I just think it's like a very welcoming thing you can do to invite people into your house. Now, that being said, like I think some of the husbands who had never seen how I decorate for Christmas, like, I'm not Priscilla, but I'm more than the average person. And so I tend to forget that. And, right away they're like, you have 2 trees? And then I quietly say, I have 3 trees. I don't count the one in the bathroom. That's only that big. That's just decoration. But, like, it is kind of fun to see, like, they're like, holy cow, like 2 questions always are asked. No, maybe 3. Where do you store it all? How long does it take you? And how many ornaments are on that tree? I'm like, well, I don't catalog them, so I don't really know. But yeah, it's fun for me. And I usually have my husband help me bring the trees up, and we set them up, and then he'll go up to the cabin. And so I can just like leave things out, and I don't need to be done day one. And I switch things up a little bit, which I like, because it's, like I generally have the same things in the same room, but I'll try to like kind of switch things around. And then with stitching, you always end up with new pieces. So it really does make a difference when you have some new things. I think I've really reached my capacity though. Like a lot of my new pillows, I'm just like shoving them under the Christmas tree because I don't have any place else to go with them. Yeah, that's a real problem, isn't it? Well, I think I'm going to take you around. And so if you would like to see that, by all means, keep watching. If not, I know it's a busy time of year. I'll say, Merry Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays if you don't. Wishing you just wonderful times, getting together with friends and family. It's just a very special time of year for most, but there are people who holidays are very hard for, and I wish you peace if you fall into that group. Without further ado, I'll say please continue to fill the world with love. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch what I've been working on. I received a lot of cards. Like Michelle, I think this was so sweet. I'm not going to show all the other cards, but she sends like the 2024 charms, and this is the limited edition sampler floss. Right up my alley, like coppers and greens, so can't wait to use that on something. So thank you, Michelle, that was very sweet. We're having our stitch group gift exchange in January, so everyone can be there. And I have not started my gift yet, so I guess I should start. I think I know what I'm doing, and I hope it won't be. Well, it's going to take time, but I think it'll be worth it. And I'm toying with the idea of stitching like twice at the same time so that I have it too, which would be kind of fun. And yeah, so if you want to see the house, like I have lots of stuff sitting around, so it won't be like sweeping panoramic views from one place to the other. Plus, I mean, this is just whining, but we need new furniture. But like how it is when you just keep making do because it's functional. But one of our friends got up from the love seat when they were here, and I think it was because it's starting to get sunk a little bit. It was not a pretty exit. We all thought he was going to fall over. But you know how that is. I remember like picking this stuff out and thinking, oh, I'm going to love it forever. And at the time it was not, the colors and the style were not trendy at all. And then all of a sudden the colors became popular, and I'm like, hey, I got these just because I like the colors. But that's been over with for about at least a dozen years. So there's a furniture store that has a clearance section, and it's kind of nice because you just go there and it's like, well, I either like it or I don't like it. I like the price or I don't like the price. And sometimes you go home with something and sometimes you don't. But I don't know. You know, I used to be a lot fussier about how I wanted everything to match and go together. And now it's just kind of like, well, I don't chase trends because I don't move that fast and I would always be behind the curve. So that's just how it goes. Ramble, 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 ramble. So, okay. So now we're done with the main course part of the video. And if you want to stay tuned for some like jumping around the house video, please do. And then we'll try to get this locked and loaded. And I know people don't have a lot of time to watch these things at this time of year, but I feel like, you know, if you do, you do, and maybe you'll watch it later. And I will do a like compiled view of all my finishes for the year. I found people tend to like that. And maybe my whips. I mean, there's a lot of parades going on in January, but I feel okay about my number of whips. I don't think I'm out of control. So I love it when I finish something old or something that's more challenging to work on, because it's just such a sense of satisfaction. Okay, so I've already tried to end it like numerous times. We're gonna stop now and come and see what I have out here. Yay! Happy 100 to me. Okay, let's pretend we went outside. This is actually the second time I'm doing this, so I don't feel like going out again. But basically, front door, this old wreath used to match my chairs. Well, they still do, but I just put it on the door. And then these are like they're like puffy stickers that they're plasticky, so they don't stick on forever. But unless it gets really, really cold, they just stay on the windows, so that's kind of cute. And this is my shelf where I do my cording. I can tell my husband probably had his coat on the hooks, which is basically what it's designed for, but I can see the greenery is a little bit upset. And yeah, so a few little stitch pieces. I won't remember the names of a lot of the stuff, but if you go back 2 videos to the winter and Christmas stitching, I've identified all pieces there. So that's a cute little one. And this is a Prairie Schooler Santa. And then this was one that I bought at a resale shop and in the frame and everything. So, and it was very reasonable. So I always put that up. And then if we move, hope there was nothing too messy there. Oh, well, this is kind of cute. You can see the goose up there. Just some extra stockings. That ginormous Santa was one Leanne and I painted in painting class. We each did one. Then just some garland to like spruce up the stairwell. And the blow mold Santa my husband bought years ago. And I didn't like him in the beginning. And now, you know, like they're becoming more and more rare because all young people have the blow ups with the motors that are much easier to store. So then we'll pivot over here. And I have stuff sitting around, like you'll see my vacuum laying there. Like, oh well. It's real life. I actually got my presents wrapped already, which is why I'm making this video. But on this plant stand, Santa's underneath. I got these new, the lanterns on the left, I won as a prize at a shower. But like when I went to put my battery operated candles in there. They're just like a little bit too wide to get them in. So I ended up shoving mine and then busting it up. So that was not a good idea. But on this cabinet, just have some lower stuff underneath. A beautiful poinsettia. Santa, he's in my dad's wicker chair from when he was a child. So it's probably close to 100 years old now. And those are those Santa hats that play songs, and then the tip of the hat like moves around. So the kids love that. And just on a big old Santa that I made years ago. And then I just put some stuff around the mirror for decorative purposes. Here are my cheer trays with just kind of an assortment of stuff that I have left over that I shove in there. A cute Santa print from Teresa Kogan. That was so nice. And I only have 2 of these. There's 2 more little pillows, so I did start one of them because I think 3 would look nice. But and this piece I made in ceramic is like a toy shop window. And this little doll I put out at Christmas, it was mine. We had we called it a doll collection, but Madame Alexander dolls. And then this one, I have 2 of these. I think they were from England, but she comes out at Christmas time and Valentine's Day. And then moving over, just like more of a wintry piece. I think that's Plum Street Samplers and Twin Peaks Primitive Snowman chart. I don't know where to hang this one. This was one I bought at a craft fair years ago. And there's a lot of extra stuff I just put down below because I don't really know where to go with it. And then on the window ledge, I don't have this lit up, but it has tiny little lights. But at night, I'll turn those on. And I was afraid I had more of a bow window before we got the new windows. And but it's still enough distance that it works. And then I just have some garland and icicle lights going over the top. And I love this. I turn this on in the morning then I had to hang Christmas garden back up on the wall. I mean, I took down another picture and put it up there. Love it so much. And then this is the crazy tree with my angel I made years and years and years ago. And there are a lot of ornaments on it, but not as many as there used to be. And down here is my new pillow that Leanne stitched half of. I finished. And then the Christmas time pillow, New York Dreamer. This is a ceramic Santa's workshop that I did years and years ago. And It's a Wonderful Life. This Santa is one I painted in painting class. And then we go up to the shelves. I'll back up a little bit. I found those jingle bells at Country Sampler. Like a couple of women were holding them, and I'm like, oh, there's none left. And then there was a whole basket of them. So I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them. And then I'm like, oh, I'll just drape them from the shelves. I think they're really cute. But a couple of my favorite stitch pieces, Christmas tree, and Yes, Virginia. I love that frame, Yes, Virginia's. And then we spin around to the Prairie schooler tree, and I just pile stuff underneath it. There's another one of my pillows. And I have 7 Prairie schoolers on it. It's a tall, thin tree, so it's kind of hard to get good perspective. But I put more rustic ornaments and animals like the cardboard reindeer heads and just these little balls and these Santas I made years ago. So just that kind of more rustic look. And then right here is the trio of pillows that I love. And this is standing in the living room, looking into the dining room. I've got the table set for our immediate family penultimate Christmas celebration on the 23rd. And then this is just it's a garland that I added stuff to. Just some pics and stuff like that. And then my china cabinet. I guess I'll zoom out a little bit. And every year I use some of the same pieces, but I try to mix it up a little bit. And so there's a couple stitch pillows up here, a couple Goodwill or thrifting Santas, the moon Santa I painted years ago. And this is the frame I was talking about in the video that I wanted to use for Christmas garden, but it was just a little too narrow. So I left my Ben Franklin poster in there. So this is my Christmas village. I've been wanting to put it up on a corner thing for quite a few years. Just to, this is kind of dead space in this corner, and with the soffit, you can't really use anything tall. So I had my husband just build me something rough to see if this would be adequate space. And I think I need just a little bit more room. It still was hard to get stuff on. And these lights up on top go on a timer, so when it gets dark they'll come on, but I didn't put any things in there. So next year he'll redo it, give me a little bit more space. We'll paint it and probably put some greenery so you can't see the wood. But I'm glad. I know this will work really well, and so I think we could go over to the sides, and he just cut notches in the 2x4s, so then the shelves come out, and I think he braced it up a little bit on the bottom, but it'll be nice because then the shelves will just be flat for storage, so it won't take up a lot of room in the basement. And moving into the kitchen, this is actually has a light in it to put a candle in back, but I just have these other lights battery operated. Please excuse my salt and pepper grinder. Love these things though. I don't know if you guys have these, but they're battery operated, and you just, you flip the switch. And I'm a cook, so mine get really grody. I wipe them off, but I love it because it's fresh ground pepper and salt. And this is just, I don't know, can you see it? Maybe it needs light. Ooh, let there be light. Leanne and I made those gingerbread girls years ago, and she painted the gingerbread crock. I love that. It's just in the little niche. And then just to the side, I have this Santa that I made, gingerbread, and these were a couple of my mom's things. I'm sure you probably can't see that well. I had some garland left over, so I threw that on the shed. More lights and garland on top of that cabinet, just a little star, some snowmen. And here's the kitchen cabinet. Probably gonna work better if I open up these glass doors so you don't get the glare. But usually have a bunch of Santas that I put in there. This is one that I did in painting class. The one with the two children did in ceramics. The one in back was a resin that just painted him in painting class. This candle was my mother-in-law's. That's kind of special. One of my new pillows. And Nick in the Box, which really belongs to my son, but I kid him that I'm gonna just keep him for a long time because I love him so much. So he hasn't given me too much, of a problem with keeping him. So someday he'll go home to his rightful owner, but love him. Okay, so this is a lived-in room, so no judgment, please. But this is a garland I made a number of years ago. And it's pretty glitzy, but I like it. I was thinking I might be ready for something new next year. Yeah, the cord on the left keeps popping off, so I kind of gave up. Usually I corral it with packing tape on the side, but the rest is just family coming over, so they know what it looks like. We have snowmen on this side. Some that I painted, some that I made, some Leanne made. And then these lights, I always call them my husband's lights because he bought those. And then this is the snowman tree that is tucked behind the couch. So we have taller ceilings in here, and I put this tree on a table so that the ornaments actually show from behind the couch. And I just have some extra little snowmen, but yeah, it works really well. And I have a lot of snowmen. I went through that phase where, everyone said, well, you can leave snowmen up, longer. But I really don't do that too much anymore. But yeah, I love the guys on this. There's a lot of special ones to me. And then to finish off the room, I have Baby It's Cold Outside, Season's Greetings from Teresa Kogut. I think Leanne stitched the one in the red frame. It's Plaid House or something like that. And then it's Candy Cane Lane or something like that from Brenda Gervais. But I kind of chopped it up and pieced it up and glitzed it up, so it will never be the same. And then the room I probably get most teasing for, the powder room. I've got Santa on a box of presents, a little tree, and then on this shelf, I just have some vintagey looking decorations and Brenda Gervais piece that I stitched. And then if you pan over to the mirror, I just put some garland over, and it's all kind of silvery and sparkly. And no judgment. If the sink isn't clean, we've had a lot of company lately. So I really hope you've enjoyed my quick little tour. And yeah, I know it's really busy, so if you don't have time to watch now, look at it next year. I hope you're all doing well and have a great, great holiday season. We'll see you in the new year. Bye.